Hello, nerds. This is Batman Mark with no voice for Nerds in a Bar.
I'm loving this husky voice thing. We're going to do the whole thing like this.
All right, we're going to do this whole thing like this.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Our good friend Jim Fletcher's back here again at DC Collectibles, which is now...
DC Direct. Thanks for the shout out. Yep, back to basics for DC.
I'm glad you guys went back to the originals.
It was a lot of talking about that, but right now the mission is going to be tying ourselves back to editorial. Good. We've gone a lot of different directions over the years. We're like, you know what? That's why we're originally here.
Pull it back in.
Pull it back in, yeah. Good. But not too far, because we still want to do stuff like this.
Right, absolutely.
Now, I know you're not excited about this initiative at all. So, you've seen our Batman stuff before. This is here because right now, Diamond's been asking our retailers, this stuff's been sold out for a while, like, should we go back and remake any of these? Right. So right now we're thinking, depending on how the reaction goes, you may see these being re-released. So that's fun. However, it's not as cool as this. So the Batman Adventures Continue line is something we're really proud and excited about, not just because it lets us continue the super successful action figure line, but now that the DC editorial team has picked up on it, and we have a book coming out with Paul Dini writing it.
Nice, I heard about that.
Yeah, so not only did you hear about it, but there's actually some pages right here in this very notebook.
Oh my goodness.
So that's the Dave Johnson cover.
Wow.
There's an alternative cover. So they're basically, it's going right back to, to the beginning. And now I'm going to make your listeners crazy because I have to close this, but you can see it with this, not on camera, the whole rest of issue 1.
Oh.
However, we'll look at that later.
Yes.
I'm sorry, fans.
Teasing me.
Not going to tease you. All these people. I'm sorry, audience. So, yeah, so it's pretty cool. You have the Batman Who Laughs. You got the Vampire Batman. And what looks great.
Asbat.
Yep, I love that Asbat one.
So do I. That's amazing.
But what also is super cool is this Thomas Wayne figure looks like he walked right off the show to me. I mean,
absolutely.
Ty Templeton did a great job redesigning this guy.
I love the paint.
Right, really nice. Also with the Talon owl over here, figuring out which design to use was really a challenge because that's a complicated figure. Yeah, there's so many different versions of them. We're like, you know what? How do we streamline this down? Ty gave us a bunch of different designs. We're like, that one could have been on the show. So we went ahead with that.
That's great.
So, yep. So we got a lot of the Batmans right in the beginning.
Absolutely.
Now we have our
Zombieland.
Yeah, so our DCeased action figures are tearing up the show so far. People are really into what we're doing with these figures. We don't usually get to play in this creepy land, with our stuff, but to actually go ahead and in there and just like mess everybody up was really fun to do.
If we keep going with the coronavirus, we might be at this eventually.
Good God. Well, so what's cool about this, so what just happened yesterday, the gray models just showed up here. They weren't here Saturday, and they came in yesterday. So what's cool, you've got Batgirl over here on the front. You got back there is Red Hood, but have his mask torn off.
Yep.
And all the way in the back, now it's always weird when you see Nightwing with no paint, or Hal Jordan with no paint, because it's like a naked guy with boots and gloves, pretty much.
What is it?
Well, he'll probably have clothes. Which face? Oh, okay. Oh, well, since Hal's over there, Detective Mark, then that becomes that.
That girl was blocking me.
Yeah, I know.
That girl's blocking me.
Sorry.
So it's Nightwing.
That will be Nightwing, yeah. And then Deathstroke's right in the front there. But really cool. I think these figures just look awesome. If you're into like dead, creepy looking superheroes, that's the ones you should buy. And plus you have the regular essentials. You got like the 6-pack that we're going to be doing for the holidays. And then that was the last wave, which you guys I think so announced already on the essentials figures. Yep. So let's look at some more new stuff. The fact that Stanley did this animated series Catwoman while we're still running that line is great, fantastic synergy for us. And besides, whatever Stanley Lau paints, I'm like, yep, just give me the drawing. We're gonna make a statue, probably.
An amalgam of the animated meets the comic book.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Really nice job.
Yeah, and Stan's work is great. I mean, we did a statue line with him, a CoverGirls line, like years ago. Yeah. And that was, I think, before he really hit his peak, like stride. Now he's like everywhere. So that's pretty great, right?
I love that.
So, I mean, it's such a great statement piece for the Joker and Batman's relationship, I thought. And then when that cover came out, I'm like, I really wanted to do this. I just wasn't sure when. And then we just said, you know what? Let's just throw it in there and see what kind of reactions we get. So no one's complaining.
Not at all.
Really cool.
We have nothing to complain about the
No,
torch
well,
piece?
we've been debating actually the face. So I'm thinking we may do an alternate head, like this head and another head. If you didn't, because not everybody was into this peeled off.
Right.
I mean, that was such a statement for that moment. But if it's a regular Joker head, the relationship between the characters doesn't change regardless of his face, right?
What
So
about Joker Wars with that coming up? Would you maybe use the Joker Wars head?
more heads. I would probably base on something Capullo did because that's his design.
Because that's his stuff.
Right. So this is so new. That's
This
not
is-
even a tag.
This is nice.
So that's Batgirl's newest costume, and Josh Middleton did a cover for this.
Wow.
And it's another one. This cover showed up, and now that we're, like I said, now that we're DC right there and we're tied much more into editorial, I'm like, yep, great, do it. I mean, it shows up for a new costume, and Josh's artwork is beautiful, and that piece has a lot of motion and just really beautiful. So these are like about $95. We just shrank down the
originals.
the big statue. Except, funny, in this
I
case,
actually have the original that one, the big one.
in this case, and this one, they are all Batman black and white statues first,
Yes, I know.
and then they all went big, and then they.
They
Well, I
shrunk.
know I don't have to educate you on Batman
No, but
items.
The fans need to know.
They need
Fans
to know.
Down here, we're at the Bombshells
Yep.
again, continuing forward.
Yeah, Harley, the deluxe Harley statue is really neat. It's got some nice little, hints all over it for the whole carnival theme. Because the base looks like an old carnival ride. You got the spilled popcorn, which I just finished eating in the back room. You got some tickets on the ground, and Harley's motion in that is great. The Joker strength bell is kind of neat, and then we have a Black Canary and Green Arrow Bombshells deluxe statue. What's neat about this is look at the detail on the guitar. Super fun.
Oh, look at that. It's bow and arrow.
Right? So
Going up.
we kind of turn them into like a rockabilly couple type of deal. And all our couples for the Bombshell statues have done great. So we're like, this is always a great classic couple.
Absolutely.
That's the Ivy. Maybe Batman Mark can help me out with the Batman
This
family.
is the poison ivy.
There it is. So this is
Christmas statue.
Yeah, so we had done before the traditional, the first one. Then we did a sepia tone one. Then we said, well, you know what? Something for the holidays would be a good idea. But also, there's another special gift in the back.
Oh, look at that.
Come
I
on.
love that. Little Batman doll.
Pretty great.
That's awesome.
I mean, Lord knows what else is in these other gifts from Ivy. I'm not touching any of those. If she's sending me presents.
Carrying forward with Ivy.
Yeah. So
You got your cover girls on.
Frank Cho, great artist for DC. He actually is one of my favorite cover artists we have. And he did a book. I don't know if you saw it. It was in. He was drawing just drawing with like ballpoint pens. It's shockingly good. It's an amazing book. But what I liked about these statues in particular is we kind of went back to when we started this line with Adam Hughes. There's a little more like, there's a lot of energy in a lot of these, and there's some storytelling going on. Like Batgirl's got this
Love the bat.
little bat flying off, and what she's trying to figure out a clue with her bat-shaped magnifying glass. And also,
Throwback to the homage of the 66 show.
yeah, no, what's funny about this, is actually, I'm glad you brought that up because these are all original designs that all harken back to their early appearances, including the logos on the base. They're all the older, I'll tip this one forward, like on Supergirl. It's got the old logo that they don't.
70s comic
Yeah.
book logo.
So we wanted to go with that with all of the looks of them. So they're all the traditional costumes.
Excellent.
Now, it's been a while since we went back and said, you know what? Again, back to basics.
Absolutely.
However,
Artist
going the
style.
completely different direction than back to basics is back to nothing that has anything to do with any comic book stuff.
Exactly.
So we've gone over the whole reason, for these things before, just moving away from artists that we have done a lot of different iterations of and say, let's,
grabbed from comic.
yeah, and basically, let's go look around and see what else is out there. So we were really happy about this assortment. It's getting a really good buzz at the show, and they're just so different from each other.
Unbelievably different.
Yeah, like this Catwoman is beautiful.
These artists.
Yeah, and so like cut paper stuff.
Yeah, it's almost Art Deco-esque.
It's really, it's beautiful. So trying to capture it sculpturally was interesting, but I think we did it. It looks pretty cool. Attack Peter's stuff, that Batman, I've bought prints from that guy already. They're freaking great. And that Batman is just, look at Lord Deathman's even in the drawing. Probably not going to make it into the statue, but
Okay.
but he's okay without him in there. And then Patrick Ballesteros at the end, got this Deathstroke and Robin, like the kind of playful,
That's very funny.
that's a fun one. And then, now you're going to appreciate the last one, not just because it's Batman, but why else? Now, the storytelling in the one all the way at the end, the Zach Heffelfinger one, So everyone's like, you never do enough Robin. You never do enough. Well, now you have 3 Robins.
Robins in one.
So you've got, now what's funny about that, like the Nightwing is in the middle, obviously, and he's been there the longest, so he's the most tired. You have determined little Tim Drake up there, and then over here you got the Red Hood. I mean, well, that's Tim Drake. You're just, sorry, thanks. The Jason Todd up there, and then the Tim Drake, the Red Hood thing. So it's just such a great like moment. And so basically, like the Bat family helps Batman, this one they're helping him fly.
Exactly.
So I love the storytelling. That's great. And super out there. There's nothing like that.
Nothing. Maybe a T-shirt of birds and a bat.
Maybe you can find that. Yeah. And that guy used to work on SpongeBob, so that's
you can tell.
Yeah, it's so good. Big Ren and Stimpy fan. So we're reissuing that statue. It was out before, it sold out. So we're like, all right, well, we'll make more.
It sells.
Yeah, well, yeah. Then, okay, so back to some more Batastic stuff for you. So I finally, after a little bit of a hiatus, got out my own pen and pencils and started drawing stuff again.
God bless you.
I know. So that one, so that Batman statue, that's not the final base. That's a deceased Batman battle statue like the toys we saw earlier.
Yeah.
This finished base has like a dark side head. The rubble forms a dark side head. Inside the dark side open yelling mouth that you can see, there's a Desaad in there working his nonsense to spread that virus. And then there's busted wires that go around the back into Cyborg's head. So it's telling the whole, I hope everybody read the deceased story, because I just told you some of the origin of it. So, but there'll be a lot of storytelling going on in the base.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah, sorry everybody. Should have told them to close their ears first.
Too bad.
Oh well.
We'll put an alert in the beginning.
Yeah, in the beginning, a big flash alert, spoiler.
And then the Batman Who Laughs.
So one of the most popular new characters that they came up with from the Metal Run, Batman Who Laughs. So we wanted to do a battle statue. It's been a while since we did a big, like, crazy battle statue.
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah, it's a good size. And
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
just saw this.
So you read this, right?
I didn't. Go ahead.
Okay.
But
So I'm not going to do a huge spoiler alert, but this Batman has been this Man Who Laughs Batman's been dealing with all these other Batmans.
Right, going through time.
So
all the story.
yeah, okay, that's all you need to know. So basically, all the cookies in here are a bunch of different Batman heads. So you've got
Adam West.
there's all kinds of stuff in here. You've got that. You've got there's Kelly Jones in there.
Affleck.
You get well, I don't know which one. I have a list.
Yeah.
It's something like that, but there's a whole list of these that we got somewhere.
Oh wow.
But there's a Kelly Jones
Yep.
Batman back there. There's a Frank Miller armor.
Yep.
Batman. There's Gotham by Gaslight.
Yeah, that's like my Batman.
Yeah, is that your Batman? Is it?
Keaton Batman.
So there's all these different Batmans, and the ones in here I don't remember what they all are, but we'll send a list out at some point. But really
Should
cool.
Come inside the box.
And actually, that's a good idea. Probably should.
There's
Now
an
that you're,
insert sleeve.
you know what? It
Guess
actually
put
should.
The picture on one side.
We
put all the put numbers on them.
yeah, that's how I gave it to the sculptor. Actually, I had numbered them like this. Yeah.
Put numbers on the picture, on black
Yeah,
and
we
white.
could do
and
that.
then when you turn it over.
Well, that would be
number one,
fun.
number two, number
Yeah, it's a good idea.
It gives them a guessing game as well.
Something fun to do, and an activity toy.
Activity time. There you go.
So this is sort of an activity toy if you buy all the pieces and stick them together. So that's our multi-part statue. Like the first one we did from last year with the Bat family. So now we're doing the anti-Bat family
Right.
on the other statue. And again, what I like about these guys is the fact you can take any of them out and it's still okay by itself
Right,
statue.
You just want to buy a one piece.
Right, and every angle has sculpting details on it. So it's not like we just didn't put anything on the back.
It's 365 dimensions.
Right. So if you just love Mr. Freeze, you could literally just buy Mr. Freeze.
Right.
I hope you will not and buy them all,
the whole
but
set
yeah,
together.
because it looks great. I mean, they look great
Rooftop
together.
scenes are great.
So
I
good.
love when you guys
Well,
do
because you can do so much stuff with it with people.
100%.
Yeah, like this one, even by itself, standing alone, is freaking. It's just
Gorgeous.
cool. So it looks pretty great. All right. Now, line you're somewhat familiar with coming up next.
Of course, my favorite lines are the black and whites.
Right. Now, we couldn't have predicted that we were ever going to get to this many, or we maybe would have done a few things differently, but you can never predict that. So we've gone way past 100, but I can predict. Oh, yeah, this creepy lady. I can predict the next 6 because they're right here. So we're at least going to hit 106. Probably a few more. So you remember this from New York. This was premiered where you were at the event in New York with the Batman in armor. Then Jim Lee is drawing us a standing up Batman this time. He's done 2 other ones, but they're all crouching and
looks
action.
like he's kicking.
Yeah, so that one is like just a powerful standing around Batman.
Bat Monster.
That Bat Monster thing from that Capullo cover, I love that one. And that's one of the few up here that's sculpted traditionally, actually. A lot of the other ones are digital, but that is, yeah.
Very cool.
So that's amazing. And the light source is really cool. It's really well lit on one side. This is the Freddie Williams Batman from the Ninja Turtles Batman run.
Oh, yeah.
Now that Batman is jacked. He's a beast. He's a monster. But what I like about that is he's got this delicate release. It's like this giant Batman. He's like, goodbye. So,
You're off,
yeah,
man.
see you later. You know, it's funny. Somebody pointed out earlier, and I didn't notice it. And I'm like, wow, we have a lot of like bats and cats running around. Because like, there's a bat over here. There's 3 Robins over there. Batgirl's got a bat. Catwoman's got a cat. That Catwoman has a cat. I'm like, oh, this is the thing. A thing we're doing. Yeah, support animals. Yeah, yeah. So another Mike Mignola after all these years after that first one. So John Matthews also sculpted that one. So
that's really nice.
that is really beautiful. I don't know why we hadn't gotten to that. One of our designers was like, "Hey, when are you going to do a Gotham by Gaslight one?" I'm like, "Oh my God." I'm like, yeah, I don't know how. We have a giant list of Batman Black and White. I don't know how we never got to it, but it looks amazing.
It's really amazing. Yeah, it almost looks like
Now the lights out. Now that's not doing a whole lot, but it's doing something. But yeah, the tone, it looks like a flat piece, and there's some really nice subtle tones in there, so it's pretty cool. And Brian Bolland, Batman, of course, from Killing Joke, who's right next to his pal, the Joker. So our new statue line is going to be the Joker. So it's been something we've been kicking around for a while after the success of the Harley line, and now that this has proven to be great, like how do you not, especially for me personally, as you know, how do we not do a Joker line?
Not do a Joker.
Yeah, so
The Joker Jim, of course.
Of course, we went over, we covered this. I have your socks again. I don't have them today.
I saw him on Instagram.
Oh yeah, right? Oh, you see that?
Saw that on Instagram.
So good. So what we decided to do for this one that you're going to notice is different than the Harley line or the Batman Black and White. We were trying to come up with a color scheme that made them all the same so you could put them in a group. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out a way to do it because like the Bolland Joker's wear a black tux. You can't just paint them purple because you feel like making them purple.
Right.
And the Bermejo one, the colors are all muted and like it's darker of tone. So I'm like, well, the Joker is a very individualistic person. So maybe we just let him run. Yeah, so right now we were actually had a big debate about that before they went out, but we just couldn't make it work all in like bright, comic book color purple. So we're not going to do it that way.
The most tie-in element of the Joker is his smile.
Well, see, but that's the other, we were like, so he's always got to have a red mouth. So he'll have that, the smile. But he also almost always has purple, but not always.
Right.
Usually green hair. Well, always green hair.
Always
so
green.
that's a concept. We couldn't just call it Joker purple and red,
Right.
or Joker white and purple, or green and purple. And I'm like, all right, well, he's always called that anyway. So like that works. Yeah.
So there's your tie-in.
Yeah. So we're just so clever.
Absolutely.
We had some other names, but that's the one we went with. And then the 2 newest Harleys are this Julian Tedesco cover. I don't know if you remember this cover.
No.
It's just such a great. It makes such. It's like you sculpted me. You drew me a statue. So thanks.
Exactly.
And then J. Scott Campbell Harley, at the end here.
Yeah,
So
that was a nice one too.
Yeah.
Work on that. He did a couple of different books with her.
yeah. So and there's Toy Fair 2020. You've seen it all.
We saw that you tightened in the reins, but you still let them spread their wings a little.
Yeah, like with Designer Series. I mean, that's where we really get to play. But you can see that stuff is really getting tied back into a lot of the stuff from our roots. So
Which is nice.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see.
Yeah.
Carrying forward with the black and white.
well, I know you're always glad to see that.
Always love the black and whites.
Yeah, who does?
So I got to tell you, always a pleasure, Jim, brother.
Yes, sir.
We're
Thanks
gonna
for
get
coming in.
We're gonna get you to go out with us one night.
One of these days, we'll figure
One
it
of
out.
these days. From Toy Fair 2020, this is Batman Mark from Nerds in a Bar with Joker Jim. We're out of here.
Yeah, with our new voices, our new
With
cool
our new
voices.
voices.